Collectively, we can save 21 billion tons of clothing from being discarded and ultimately burned in landfills every year. Let me put that into perspective. That is one garbage truck of clothes that is dumped in landfills every single second. So how can we do this? Well, that might seem like quite a daunting task based on what I've just told you, but it's actually quite simple. All we have to do is shop smarter. Now, let's take a look at the essence of the problem. We know the problems that fossil fuels and deforestation due to agriculture have on the planet. We also know the impacts of plastic bottles and plastic bags and their effect on the environment. But how much do we really know about plastic clothes? The truth of the matter is, the fashion industry is as dangerous to the planet as fossil fuels and agriculture. Now, most of us wear plastic clothes on a daily basis. In fact, 60% of all materials used in the fashion industry are made using plastic. And I bet if you look at all your labels right now, you'll find at least a blend of synthetic fibers mentioned. So why is plastic so important to the fashion industry? Well, for the same reasons it's important to all industries. It's strong, durable, resilient, and these are great factors when making things like swimwear and sportswear, for example. But every piece of plastic that has ever been made still exists today. From your consumables, to your clothing, to the microbeads found in your cosmetics. In just 60 years, plastic has been found in Arctic icebergs and in the deepest oceans, and even fetal placentas. All this damage in less than one average human lifespan. Now, since the year 2000, we're consuming 60% more than we ever did before, and yet we're only wearing 40% of our wardrobes. Why is this? We're part of a throwaway culture, where trend-led, fast fashion brands are forcing us to become avid, insatiable consumers. Now, I'm guilty of falling into this trap too, but I'd consider myself more of a reformed shopaholic now. But fashion is essential to who we are as individuals. But I wonder if you knew just how dangerous fast fashion is for your health. It's dangerous for our health. Fast fashion is the rapid mass production of low-cost, low-quality, disposable clothing. So why is it so dangerous for us? That seemingly attractive end-of-season sale? Well, according to the United Nations Environmental Programme, fast fashion makes up 1/10 of the world's global carbon emissions. That is more than all international aviation and shipping combined. And if it continues on this current trajectory, it'll be a quarter by 2050. As well as being bad for the environment, fashion production is also the second largest consumer of water worldwide. In fact, according to the United Nations Economic Commission in 2018, the fashion industry produces 20% of global water waste. One cotton shirt takes 2,700 litres to be made. Now that's the same as you and I would drink in 2.5 years. Cotton farming is responsible for 24% of all insecticides and 11% of all pesticides, despite only using 3% of the world's arable land. Now, fast fashion is created en masse. And this is all done at the cheapest cost to the manufacturer. As a consumer, we don't know just how much water goes into making that one pair of jeans, for example, or how many chemical dyes take that long to make it that denim blue that we love. But as a consumer, it is up to us to help change this production. We all love a sale, but if that t-shirt costs less than a loaf of bread, there's a problem. So how do we shop smarter? Well, it's a good question. We need to look at what happens to our clothes after we buy them. Thanks to our favorite fast fashion brands, unsold seasonal items often end up in landfill. But there is a way that we can start to reduce our fashion footprint. In fact, there's two things we can do straight off the bat to help ensure we start to shop slow and sustainable fashion. Firstly, it's about materials. You want to be looking for linen, flax, bamboo, hemp, organic cotton, because as well as being bio-friendly and durable materials, if they ever end up in landfill, they'll biodegrade quite happily. And secondly, it's time we hold brands accountable. Look for brands that support waterless technology. Maybe they're using natural dyes, regenerated or recycled fibers, or they've got a CSR program giving back to the environment they're taking from. Now, plastic fashion has another big problem. Every time you wash fibers like nylon, lycra, and polyester, microfibers are released in your washing machine and head directly into the ocean via the grey water. You might know them as lint. Ellen MacArthur in 2017 found that 500,000 tons of microfibers were being released due to washing synthetic fabrics every year. Now, I want to give you a visual of that. That is the equivalent of 50 billion plastic bottles. And there's no worse place for lint to be. It's near invisible to the naked eye, doesn't just live on the surface for us to scoop it up, it lives in the water too. And it's mostly consumed by fish. Now, we are consuming up to a credit card size worth of plastic every year. Wonder where it comes from. Now, there are active solutions on the market today. You can buy laundry balls, which go into your washing machine and collect all this shedded fiber so you can dispose of them in a better way. But one thing we can do today is to help encourage a circular economy within our own wardrobes. This means essentially, instead of throwing something away, ask yourself, especially if it's made with plastic material, can you upsell it? Can you thrift or donate it? McKinsey & Co. and the Global Fashion Agenda in 2020 aligned that in order for us to meet the 1.5 degree pathway set forth by the Paris Climate Change Agreement, 1 in 5 garments need to be sold via a circular business model by 2030. But there's good news. ThreadUp's 2021 report stated that the second-hand fashion market is going to double in the next 5 years to $77 billion. That's 11 times faster than the broader retail sector by 2050. And as it becomes easier to sell online, more and more people are purging their wardrobes. In fact, in the same report, it stated that 76% of people were likely to sell for the first time secondhand online. Now, we might have shopped less overall during the pandemic. I know I did. But 33 million people shopped secondhand for the very first time in 2020. And every time you shop secondhand, you reduce that item's carbon footprint by up to 86%. I like to say labels are important, but it's not the label you think. So where do we go from here? Well, first things first, we have to look in our own wardrobes. The most sustainable wardrobe is the one you already have. But have a look at the labels. Make sure you shop an active laundry solution to help reduce our carbon footprint in the ocean too. Secondly, start to shop slow and sustainable fashion and start to hold brands accountable. And remember, the more you demand, the more they'll supply. And lastly, we need to become part of a circular economy. Instead of throwing anything away, ask yourself if you can upsell it or donate it. And if we do all of these things, we'll stand a chance at reducing 21 million clothes from being dumped in landfills every year. We'll stand a chance at reducing 20% of the world's global water waste. And hopefully, we will be able to align with the 1.5-degree pathway set forth by the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Thank you.